Ah, we're back, baby. What technical difficulties? We're fine. Everything's fine. We're gonna pretend the last 10 minutes didn't actually happen. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the period number 2 of the American Deadball Association. We've got a 6-game series between the Seattle Pelicans and the Kalamazoo K's. So it should be. It said Seattle's coming in with a 4-2 record, and Kalamazoo's coming in with 2-4 record. So it's early in the season, and so both teams are going to try to see what they can do against each other here over the course of the next 6 games. They're going to get nice and familiar. Going to get a lot. I'm rolling all 6 of the games, so you all are going to get nice and familiar with me. Sorry about that. So let's start over, and we are going to run down the lineups for the Seattle Pelicans. Leading off in center field, Whit Merrifield. Batting second, the right fielder, Trey Mancini. In the third spot, Juan Soto playing left field. In cleanup, batting fourth for first baseman, Pete Alonso. The designated hitter, Josh Bell. Third baseman, Matt Chapman. Shortstop, Javi Baez. Second baseman, Rougned Odor. And batting ninth, the catcher, Jorge Alfaro. And on the bump tonight for the Pelicans is Odorizzi. Butchered it twice now. I'm going to butcher it several times here tonight, I'm sure. So apologies in advance. For the Milkmen, or I'm not the Milkmen, that was Milwaukee last week. For the Kalamazoo K's, leading off, we got Yoan Moncada batting at third base. Batting second, the left fielder, Michael Brantley. Batting third, the right fielder, Matt Joyce. Batting cleanup, second baseman Max Muncy. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Rafael Devers. Batting sixth, the center fielder Cody Bellinger. Batting seventh, the first baseman Miguel Cabrera. Batting eighth, the catcher Omar Narvaez. And batting ninth, the shortstop Elvis Andrus. And going for the Kalamazoo K's is Max Scherzer, looking to redeem himself after a pretty rough opening outing, where he got knocked around by a bit by the Milwaukee Milkmen. So let's see what we got here. The opening salvo here. And see Cranky Pants, thanks a lot. And we are back. Yes, we are. We're going to see how, hopefully, for those who have just tuned in, the random.org API was having some fits, and that's what I used to generate the rolls. It's important to note that it's not just some random generator. It is using atmospheric noise to generate the rolls. So, as I always say, if the bats are not in your favor, the universe is trying to tell you something. So top of the first inning, Max Scherzer on the mound, and Whit Merrifield leading off, a 30-34. And let's get ourselves a bat score. We got Max gets the bump. So, because righty on righty, bat score 12-18. 9-0, and I believe we've got yep, that's a hit to start off with. It's just like last game. Let's roll for our hit, and that's an 11, and that's a leadoff single for Whit Merrifield. And this is how Max got in trouble the last time. So let's get ourselves man on first. And batting second, we got Trey Mancini, righty on righty, so we get the bump. Let's get a bat score. 12-17. Boy, that is another hit. And that says total of 27. So that is another hit. That is a single, and the runners are going to advance to second. So we've got Merrifield at third and Trey Mancini at first base. So this is exactly how Max's last start went off. He just got pounded, absolutely pounded early. So well, let's see what he got here. Let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score, 42 and a 4. So that gives us a total of 46. That's going to be outside of his range. So we know it's going to be an out. It's going to be 6-3 out. We know 1. And because it is less than 70, I need to double check all my numbers here. Yep, less than 70. I believe that turns the double play at the first base. So we got one out, and we're going to say that the run comes home. The third baseman was running on the pitch, but they were able to turn two. So we've got two outs. We do have one in, man on, and nobody on base. Nobody on base. So we're clear there. But Seattle takes the early 1-0 lead. All right, so our next batter is going to be Pete Alonso. And let's get ourselves, again, righty on righty, bat score and a pitch score, 99. All right, so there we go. That's a strikeout for Max for the third out of the inning. But Seattle gets the crooked number. So switch teams, clear the bases, and we're going to have Moncada coming up here. Yep, all right, so Seattle takes the early 1-0 lead. See if Max can settle in and see if the Kalamazoo K's can get one back here. Again, on the mound for the Pelicans is Odorizzi. Said he had a pretty good game, it looked like, the last time he pitched, but he's got a low pitch score. We're actually subtracting a D4 here, so let's see what we get. In theory, this lineup should be able to do heavy damage, but we'll see what we go. So Odorizzi's a right-handed pitcher, so no pitcher advantage due to the fact that Moncada's a switch hitter. So let's get a bat score and a pitch score. 2 minus 4, 48. That is going to be a fly out to center field for the first out of the inning. And next batter, Michael Brantley. Lefty on righty, no advantage. Again, a bat score and a pitch score. 6 minus 1. All right, so we got a critical hit. And that is going to be a 4, which is a solid single, but you add a base, so that is a double for Michael Brantley. He's been relatively quiet. He's getting a lot of little hits here and there, but nothing big. Hasn't driven in a lot of runs and hasn't scored a lot of runs so far early in the season. All right, so we got Matt Joyce. The lineup, if you are tuning in after watching a few of the Kalamazoo K's, the center fielder Cody Bellinger got his forearm dinged up. Still kind of playing day-to-day. He's kind of in there. But we had to reshuffle the lineup a little bit just due to the fact that his numbers are kind of been pulled down. We'll get him a little bit more of that in just a bit. But so Joyce is at in the third slot here with a 30-41. So let's see what he can do here. Lefty on righty, no advantage. Bat score, pitch score. Oop, 98. That's going to be ugly. That is a fly out to left field. And runner is going to hold there with 2 down. So we got man on second, 2 down with Max Muncy coming up. Again, batting outside of his usual role here, but just a couple of spots different. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score, 74. That's not going to cut it. That is a strikeout. It's a big strikeout for Muncy early on. Some early outs are very important. So 1 hit and no runs. So Kalamazoo K's are 0 on the board. So going into reset my innings, going into the top of the second, we've got Seattle Pelicans 1, Kalamazoo K's 0. And leading off for the Pelicans, looks like it's going to be Josh Bell leading off in a designated hitter role. So you get ourselves he's going to be a switch hitter, so no advantage to the pitcher. Bat score, pitch score, and that is going to be a 6-3 put out for the first out of the inning. And our next batter is Matt Chapman, playing third base, 25-34. Let's get a righty on righty, so Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 27. I think that is going to be a walk. Just outside of his hit range. So man on first with 1 out. And that'll bring up Javi Baez, 28-32. Let's get ourselves and he's righty on righty, so Max gets the bump. D12. 12, is that going to get that is still a hit. 28 is a hit. So let's see what we got for Baez. 15, that is going to be a double, and we're going to roll for defense. Let's see what happens here. And that's a 3, that is a no change, so that is going to be a double for Baez. Let me see how many think it's just he's going to put him on third. So we've got runners at second and third with one out for Rufnet Oduer, 21-28. The man who will be most famous for punching Jose Bautista right in the face. So lefty on righty, no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 81-1. That is going to be a strikeout for Max Scherzer. Big strikeout there. Big strikeout. Max needed that one. So he's been getting roughed up in his early starts. Kind of comes out too hyped, I think. Big moment here in the game early on. We got Jorge Alfaro catching for the Pelicans. And righty on righty, so Max gets the bump, 26-31. Let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 91-4, 95 is going to be a 5-3 put out for the third out of the inning. Seattle makes some noise, but they are good to go. Or they are, oh, sorry, stand by, texting. All right. Cool. Sorry, got to keep an eye on the old texting here lately. A lot of news and a lot of things happening. So, got to stay in contact with everybody here. So we're going to have leading off is going to be Devers. Okay. So reset my bases. All right. So bottom of the second, we got Devers going up against Odorizzi, and so no advantage to the pitcher, 31-36. Let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. Oh dear, 100. That is a fly out to left field for the first out of the inning. Now to bring up Cody Bellinger, yeah, dinged up his forearm in the, I believe it was the third game, second, I think it was the second game of the series. In fact, it was the final at bat of the second game of the series. And astute viewers pointed out that I missed the 99 on the very last bat of the game. I was too busy concentrating on the game decision that I missed the fact that Bellinger got a dinged up forearm. So he's batting a little hurt here. 26-36, still decent numbers, but nothing gaudy like they were. So again, lefty on righty, no advantage. Let's get a bat score, pitch score, 6. Oh, we got a huge one, a critical hit right off the bat. Kieran obviously isn't bothering him too much. 20, that is a solid home run for Bellinger. Clearly, the forearm is not bothering him whatsoever. So we will take that off Odorizzi. So we have one out with one on. Let's add ourselves a home score. So that ties the ball game. Seattle 1, Kalamazoo 1. And that'll bring up Miguel Cabrera batting at the first baseman night. Righty on righty, so the pitcher gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 71-3, 74. That is going to be a 4-3 put out for the second out of the inning. And our next batter is catching, the Omar Narvaez. And 28-35, no advantage to the pitcher. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 12, -4, 8. Solid hit, not critical. 3, that's a bloop single. We're going to roll for defense. I don't think, see if it turns into an error. 8, no change. So that is a bloop single for Narvaez. So let's get the man on first. So man on first, 2 out. Normally we would have Corey Seager playing shortstop, but he's had such a terrible stretch that Eric, the manager here, is going to give him the night off and put Elvis Andrus in there instead. He's not as good of a on-base guy, but I'm hoping to just kind of shake things up here a little bit. Because like I said, Seager has been just tons of strikeouts, just not seeing the ball well. So we're going to give him a little break and just see what happens here tonight. We'll get the advantage for the pitcher because it's a righty on righty. So let's get a bat score. And I think it's not going to make any difference. So, yep, that is a ground out to first base for the third out of the inning. But Bellinger's blast ties it at 1 apiece. And let's reset our bases and add our innings. So, going into the top of the third is Seattle 1, Kalamazoo 1. And leading off for the Pelicans is Whit Merrifield. Again, righty on righty, so Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 26-30. I think that's going to be just a hit. That is a hit. Let's see what we got. 6 and single, and we're rolling for defense. Let's see what happens here. A 5, no change. So that's another leadoff single. Merrifield's had Max's number here early in the game. So we got Trey Mancini coming up, just like we had last time. He was also able to get a single off Max last at bat. And righty on righty, Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 55-9. It's a 64. That is a 4-3 put out. And because it is under 70, I believe that turns the double play. So that is 1 and 2. So 2 outs. I hope I'm doing that right. Let me double check my numbers here real quick. Some standby. I need to write down some of my tweaks here. Double play. Oh, I scored it wrong. I scored it wrong. In fact, I screwed up the last at bat. It shouldn't have been a double play. It should have been a fielder's choice. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to call do a little bit of audibling on the fly because I goofed up on the last time. I scored it incorrectly. I had the productive out. I swapped the double play and the productive out rules. So what I'm going to do is, in this particular case, I'm going to have 2 on. So I'm calling it a little bit of an audible here. First and second base, as it should be, with Soto coming to bat, nobody out, and hopefully that will assuage. I hate it when I screw up, but we're going to just kind of keep plowing our way through it here. So we got Soto, just to review, we're going to have 2 men on with nobody out, and we're going to have Juan Soto come to bat. I hate it when I screw up, but it's all right. I have my cheat sheet here, and I did not have my rules out, so that's on me. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 68, and that's a 9. That's a fly out to the right fielder for the first out of the inning. No runners advance on that one. All right, that'll bring up Pete Alonso. And let's see, righty on, so Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 3-0-3-7. That's a big hit. Not critical, but it is a hit. Let's see what we got. 14. That is going to be a double. Yep, double, and we're going to roll for defense. Let's see what happens here. See if we can hold it. And 11. And I think that means that it goes, yep, hit goes down a level. So a double is reduced to a single. Runners are still going to advance 2. So what's going to happen here is Merrifield is going to come around and score. And we're going to have Mancini on third because the runners are advancing 2. And then Pete Alonso is in, he is going to be in for a single because that was originally going to be a double. And then the defense rolls it down. So just to review, we've got a man on first and a man on third with 1 out, and we have Seattle with 1 run aboard for Josh Bell. So let's see, let's get ourselves again. No advantage to the pitcher. Bat score, pitch score, 45-7. It's 52. That's a huge strikeout for Max Scherzer. So let's get ourselves another out. So this becomes a really, really big at-bat for Matt Chapman here. Righty on righty, so Max gets the bump. Again, we've got a man on first and a man on third with 2 down. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 25-11. Is that going to be a 36? That is just an out. Wow, Max dodged a bullet. It's going to be a 6-3 put out for the final out of the inning. But again, damage done. Seattle gets 1 across. And Max has just not been doing all that great here this season so far. Really, really struggling. So who do we have up here? I think is it Moncada coming up? Yep. Yep. So Seattle 2, Kalamazoo 1, going into the bottom of the third. Yohan Moncada coming up for first base. And again, no advantage to the pitchers. Let's get a bat score and a pitch score. 52, -2, 50. That is a strikeout for Moncada. That has been a monster theme for Kalamazoo this year. They really, truly are living up to their namesakes. They have been the Kalamazoo K's. I haven't done the math and I haven't checked the stats, but I have to believe they're leading the league in strikeouts based on that early putting together all the stats so far. All right, so Michael Brantley had a double in his last at bat. No advantage to the pitcher, a lefty and righty. So let's get a bat score and a pitch score. 87 to 85. That's a 5-3 putout for the second out of the inning. That'll leave up to Matt Joyce. Again, lefty and righty, no advantage. Bat score, pitch score. 331. That is going to be a solid walk. He's got a pretty wide on-base range. So that's a 2-out walk. Let's see what Max Muncy can do. Again, he's been relatively quiet this year. Let's see if we can get him some at-bats here. So 25-37, no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 87. -1, 86. That's a 6-3 putout for the third out of the inning. Bats go quietly once again for Kalamazoo. And so, through 3 complete, we got Seattle 2, Kalamazoo 1. All right, so let's switch our teams, reset, and our inning. All right, so leading off, we got Javi Baez. Righty on righty. So let's see. Yep, Baez. Let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 19-120. That is a solid hit for Javi Baez. And that's a 17. That I believe that's a double. That is a double. Thought that might be in triple territory, but leadoff double for Javi Baez. And that'll bring up Rougned Odor playing second base. 21-28. No advantage to the pitcher. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 49. That's 50. That's a strikeout for Max. It's the second strikeout of the game for Odor. And that'll be 1 out. All right, so our next batter is Jorge Alfaro, catching tonight for the Pelicans. And let's see. Let's get ourselves righty on righty. Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 82. 385. That is going to be a 5-3 putout, and this time I am applying the double play rule correctly. Although I think in this particular case, the runner would be holding on second base. I don't think he'd be trying to advance there. So we're going to just call that a 5-3 putout, and I think we'll just call it a dribbler down the line, or kind of a dribbler to third base line, and he held the runner at second base. So we have 2 down with a man on second for Whit Merrifield, who's gotten 2 singles off Max here tonight. Here we go. Again, 30-34. Max gets the bump. Bat score and pitch score, 14. Need a big number, 17. That is going to be another hit for Merrifield. My goodness, and that is a 2-run jack for Whit Merrifield. Boy, is he dialed in here tonight. That is going to be a 2-run bomb. And Scherzer, again, is getting roughed up in his start. Just not been making the big pitches when necessary. So we're going to add an away score, 3-4. And so 2 down, and bases clear for Trey Mancini. And just Mancini. Okay, so let's get a righty on righty. Bat score, pitch score, 86. 187. It's a fly out to center field for the third out of the inning. But again, heavy damage done. Another 2 runs for the Pelicans. And poor Max. Max has gotten dinged up pretty bad. So let's switch our teams. So we got bottom of the 4th. Let's see if the Kalamazoo K's can put any runs on the board here. They got to start getting some of these runs back. So leading off, we got Rafael Devers. Turns out I've been pronouncing his name incorrectly the whole time. So got that fixed. I had to look it up, make sure. Lefty on righty, no advantage. bat score, pitch score, 95, -3, 92. That is a strikeout for Odorizzi. Said he seems to be pitching really well despite these low pitch numbers here. The Kalamazoo bats just cannot seem to get going. But let's see what Bellinger can do. He's been battling the forearm injury, but clearly didn't show in his last at-bat. Had a big bomb to get the only run for the Kalamazoo K's. So let's see. Let's get ourselves lefty on righty, bat score, pitch score, 32, 131. That is going to put him right in walk territory. So draws a 1-out walk. And that'll leave it up to Miguel Cabrera. Started off the season pretty well, but it's been pretty quiet here lately. So 28-35, righty on righty. Pitcher gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 65. 4 for 69. That is going to be fly out to the right fielder. No advance on the run there. So that'll bring up the catcher. It's a big at-bat here. You got to get a rally going. Lefty on righty, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 9-4. That is a critical hit. Let's see what he's got. 16. That is a double. Runners advancing 3, but it's going to be a triple because it's a critical hit. So that is going to score Bellinger. It's going to put Narvaez on third. Huge at-bat for Narvaez. And let's get, so he's going to be on third first. And we are going to add a home score. So now 4-2 with the man on third. Let's see what he got here. Kind of a 2-out rally going. And again, let's see. We brought in Elvis Andrus to see if he could have a better at bats than Seager did, and he didn't do much in his first at bat. So 28-31. Pitcher does get the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 34-2. That's 36. That's going to be a 6-3 put out for the final out of the inning. But Kalamazoo gets one of them back. And so that brings us to 4-2 entering the top of the 5th. So let's switch our teams, reset our outs, clear the bases, add our inning. All right, so Juan Soto leading off for the Pelicans. And there we go. Again, no advantage to the pitcher now. Bat score, pitch score, 37, 7-44. That is a 4-3 put out. Just a put out because Juan Soto's got himself a pretty gaudy numbers here. And that'll bring up Pete Alonso playing first base for the Pelicans. Max gets the bump, so bat score, pitch score, 83, 184. It's another 4-3 put out. And that'll leave it up to Josh Bell with 2 down. So let's see, no advantage to pitcher, bat score, pitch score, 14-6. That's a 20. That's going to be a solid hit. That's going to be a 5. That's going to be a single. We're going to roll for defense here. Let's see what we got. 12 is the hit turned into an out. Now it's like, okay, let me say, before I say that, I want to make sure, because it was my understanding that a single could never be taken away. Single remains a single. Nope, I take it back. That's only on a 10 or 11. So the hit has been turned into an out. That is a fabulous play by let's see, who would have made that? That would have been probably the out table. Normally that would have been, well, it was a great play out in the defense. So we'll take that fabulous play. We're going to mark that as a great play for the third out. And so let's see what I'm going to have to find out what that ruling is, because in fact, you know what? I'm going to pause very quickly. I want to double check. I want to make sure I get this right. I don't want to screw up yet another thing here tonight. Want to make sure that the play can't, like I said, I wanted to make sure that the defense, yep, defending team has a chance to take the hit away. Okay, so I did rule that correctly. Again, apologies for the delay there. I just wanted to make sure I had that correctly. that correct. So let's see. That would have been a hit roll of 5. And so that would have been a single play by, so it would have been defended by the third base. I'm using the advanced out table here. So we're going to call that a fabulous play by the third baseman. So officially we're going to call that a 5-3 putout. So again, these numbers may not mean too much, but again, I want to make sure that I'm getting it completely right here. So, so we'll take it. Kalamazoo needed a momentum, needed a little bit of momentum here, especially after that last inning. So, so we're in bottom of the 5th, still 4-2 Pelicans, and we've got Moncada leading off. Here we go. And again, we're going to have to keep an eye on Odorizzi. I think he's got one more inning left. He's probably get him through 6 because he's got a minus D4, and the Pelicans have themselves a pretty good bullpen. So I think if Kalamazoo is going to make their move, they're going to have to do it in the next 2 innings. So we've got Moncada coming up. We've got so no advantage to the pitcher. Let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 52, -1, not going to matter. That is a strikeout. Second straight strikeout for Moncada. And that's 1 down. And that'll bring up Michael Brantley, who has doubled and grounded out to the third baseman in his at-bats tonight. And righty and lefty, no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 85, -4. 81, that's another strikeout. And that'll leave it up to Matt Joyce. Again, Kalamazoo needed a rally here. Again, he's only got 2 more innings out of this guy. You got to get to him while they got those low pitch dies. Lefty on righty. So let's get our bat score, pitch score, 18, -2. That's a 16. That's a solid hit for Joyce. Let's see what we got. A 6. That is going to be a single. I'm going to double check to make sure it's not defended. Single, we're going to roll for defense. And that is going to be no change with a 6. And that is a 2-out single from Matt Joyce. And again, another big at-bat here for Max Muncy. Joyce has been able to get on, so there's been some traffic in front of Max Muncy here. So let's see what we can do. So again, lefty on righty, no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 54, -1, 53. That is a ground out to the first baseman for the 3rd out of the inning. So another quiet one for the Kalamazoo. They got 1 runner aboard, but not enough to make any noise. So that's a 0 there and a 0 there. And so going into the top of the 6th, we've got Seattle Pelicans 4 and the Kalamazoo K's 2. And so we've got, who do we have coming up? Matt Chapman, the third baseman, top of 6, leading off. Again, righty on righty, so Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 32. 1 point, low numbers on Scherzer tonight. Draws a walk. So that is a man on first with nobody out for Javi Baez. He had it's a big game, 2 doubles for Javi here. Let's see if Max can knuckle down. And Brady on righty, so Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 41, 7, 48. That's going to be a fly out to center field for the 1st out of the inning. Bring up Roughneck Odor. Again, 2 strikeouts tonight. So Max has had his number. Righty on lefty, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 92, 6, 98. Another fly out to right field. A big out there. And then we've got the catcher, Alfaro, coming up to bat. This becomes a pretty big at-bat here. Man on first with 2 down. Righty on righty, so let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 11, 5, 16. Solid hit from the low-hitting Alfaro. Let's see what he's got here. 4, that's a single. We're going to roll for defense here. And a 4 is no change. So we've got a single, which puts runners at 1st and 2nd for again, boy, this has been the batter. Boy, if I'm a real manager, I would just walk this guy. He's got 2 singles and a home run. The big blow of the game is probably that 2-run shot in the 4th. So let's see what Max can do here. He got a knuckle down here. He got 2 on. This becomes a huge at bat. Righty, so Max gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 48, 351. Huge strikeout for Max Scherzer. Coming up big. Max dialed back on that one. So we have another 0 on the board. Probably going to get 1 more inning out of Max. Clear the bases, reset the outs, switch your teams. And so we are going to have leading off on the bottom of the 6th is Rafael Devers. So again, this is probably the last inning for Odorizzi, who's pitched himself a pretty good ball game despite having a really low base die. I said it's been very impressive how he's been kind of able to wiggle out of jams here. So let's see what we got. Let's get ourselves a bat score, pitch score, 15, 1 and 2, 13. Solid hit for Devers. Let's see what we got. 1, that's I guess I wouldn't call it a solid hit, but it is a hit. A bloop single to lead off the bottom of the 6th. I'm going to bring up, again, Cody Bellinger, who's had himself a good game. Let's see what he can do here. Lefty on righty, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 22, -3, 19. Huge hit. Let's see what we got. 4, that's going to be another single. We're going to roll for defense. And that's going to be, again, no change there. But another hit. Boy, Bellinger, we might just have to bat him in this spot in the lineup anyway. So we've got 2 on with nobody out because this is becoming a huge potential inning here. We got Miguel Cabrera. This becomes a huge at-bat. Let's see if we can get a couple of these back. Said Kalamazoo K's could use some offense while this guy's in. And again, Cabrera gets, so the pitcher righty on righty, so the pitcher gets the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 45, 49 is going to be a fly out to the right fielder, and runners would not advance there. Just double check it was a productive out. I think productive outs don't apply to the outfield. I wanted to just double check that again. You'll have to indulge me. I said just want to make sure I get it right, because you don't want to goof it all up here. And that's the one part of dead ball that I've always been a little bit foggy in is the productive out. Fly ball center, man on third. Yeah, okay. Round out third, round first. See, I'm just trying to figure out is if that, I think that batter would be able to get advance on a deep hit to the right fielder. So I'm going to make a judgment call here, and if this ends up winning Kalamazoo the game, I think, like I said, I think they would be aggressive on the base paths. I think Miguel Cabrera would have a deep enough fly ball to at least get him over to third base with 1 out. I think that's a safe call. So we have runners at the corners with 1 out for Omar Narvaez. So let's see what he got. Let's come again. These are huge at bats here. Left and righty, so no advantage to the pitcher. Let's see. Get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 21, -2. That is a solid hit. Let's see what he's got. 5. That is going to be another single. I think we're rolling for defense. 7, and that is going to be no change. So that is going to put Bellinger at second. That is going to bring the run home. And then we're going to put Narvaez on first. So we've got man on first and second. We're going to bring home the run for Bellinger. So that is 4-3. And our next at bat, still with, make sure I said, we're still with 1 out. Elvis Andrus. Let's see, we brought him in for offense because Seager has been so disappointing. So let's see what he's got here. Righty on righty, so pitcher gets the bump. bat score, pitch score, 14, 17. That is going to be another hit. It's going to be a 16 double. Runners advancing 3. All right, so that rule with the the tag up didn't hurt anybody. So good, I'm glad. All right, so that is going to bring home Bellinger, and I believe that's going to bring home Cabrera as well. Or I'm sorry, Narvaez. Yep, advances 3. So big knock there. Boy, I'm trying to figure out. You don't. God, I think probably would go to the bullpen at this point, but you hate burning the arm for like. Well, it's 1 down. I think at this point, I think I'm going to bring in. In reality, they would be going to the pen. Without a doubt, they'd be going to the pen. So I'm going to bring in Wick, which is a plus D8. They're going to need the instant out here. So let's bring in Wick. It's Rowan Wick, and he's got a much higher base. He's got a plus D8. Update the picture, and so we've got still got man at second. Got to clear that out, and so add 2 more runs. Sorry, just trying to keep track of all my outs, all my runs here. So Kalamazoo did take the lead with that Narvaez RBI, or I'm sorry, the Andrus double. Okay, so you've got Wick at bat, or I'm sorry, Wick pitching now, rolling the D8. I said I think this is the only fair way to do it. I think Odorizzi was getting knocked around. So this is a right-handed pitcher. All right, so we'll clear all that paperwork up a little bit later. I may end up just leaving Wick in for another half inning. We'll have to see how this plays itself out here. So we got Moncada coming up with 1 down, get my out with a man on second. And so we have a righty on lefty, so no advantage, but he's rolling the positive D8 here. So let's get a bat score, pitch score, 97, 8, 105. Yep, that is a 5-3 put out, and I believe that it's going to turn the double play. Yep, to the infield. So that, well, no, because he wouldn't be running from second. He'd be holding there. Especially if on a 5-3, it's right to third base, he'd be holding there. So that is going to be the second out of the inning, and Andrus is going to stay at second base. But that'll leave it up to Michael Brantley to try to drive in this run. But again, got the at least got 1 out for Wick there. So again, lefty on righty, no advantage to the pitcher. Bat score, pitch score, 75, 4. That's going to be a fly out to the right fielder for the 3rd out of the inning. But Kalamazoo takes the lead with 3 in the bottom of the 6th. And so I think we're going to let Scherzer go 1 more inning. Let's reset here, reset our outs, switch our teams, add our inning. So we're going to let Max go for 1 more inning. Said he's a horse, and we're gonna stick with him here, even though he said the lineup's been beaten up a little bit. He's been settling down here the last couple of innings. So, top of the 7th, we got Trey Mancini playing right field, leading off. Okay, Scherzer's still rolling that D8. He's going to get the bump on this at bat. So, bat score, pitch score, 65, 3, 68, fly out to the center fielder for the 1st out of the inning. And that'll bring up Juan Soto. Again, pretty gaudy numbers there, 28-40. And Max is not going to have the advantage this time. So bat score, pitch score, 84, 1, 85. That's going to be a 5-3 put out for the 2nd out of the inning. And Pete Alonso coming up. Righty on righty. It's going to be Max's last batter. So he's going to get the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 91, 1, 92. Strikeout in the final at bat for Max Scherzer. It's a good way to close. So that is 3 outs. Switch our teams, reset our outs. Bottom 7. And we're going to have, looks like leading off, it's going to be Matt Joyce. leading the bottom of the 7th, with Kalamazoo leading 5-4. And how do I want to play these pitchers? Boy, I think, because normally, because I said, because Witt came in and got 2 outs, he's dropping down to a D4. And so do I want to bring in, I think I'm going to do that. Let me double check the roster real quick, gang. Apologies, I should have had a lot of this written down, but it's hard keeping track of all this stuff. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to bring in, because they said we've got a ghost team, and so we don't have any real lineup issues. So I'm going to bring in Alec Mills, who's rolling a D8 plus D8, which I think makes sense. You're going to start fresh. You want to give your you want to bring in your relievers with bases empty. And so we are going to have Mills coming in, righty. Update the pitcher. He's coming in with a D8. So Wick got 0.02, and this is 5.1. I'll tally it all up later. Trying to do it. I feel for all these guys who keep score during the game, like the actual broadcasters. This is really hard to do, to keep track of all the action. So we got, just to reset, we've got Alec Mills on the bump for the Pelicans. We got Matt Joyce up to bat, bottom 7, Kalamazoo leading 5-4. And this is Mills is coming in. He is a right-handed pitcher. I got to double check that. Yep, Mills coming in, right-handed pitcher. So no advantage. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 45, 1, 46. So that's a 6-3 put out for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Max Muncy. He's had a quiet night tonight. A couple of groundouts and a strikeout. And he's 3 at-bats. Lefty on righty, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 59, 1, 60. That's a strikeout. Another strikeout from Muncy. Quiet game for Muncy here tonight. And so we got Devers coming up. He got things started off in the last inning with a leadoff single. So let's see what he got here. Lefty on righty, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 59, 7, 66. Another 6-3 put out. Quiet bats for the K's in the bottom of the 7th. So 0-0. Let's switch our teams, add our inning. And so with Scherzer coming out, we got our next right-handed pitcher coming in, which is Ken Giles. And he is coming in throwing a D12. I'm going to double check that. Yep, so we're good there. Wick's been used. Mills has been used. All right, so let's bring in Giles. Coming in at a D12. All right, so again, just going to recap here. Going into the top of the 8th, you got Josh Bell, the designated hitter, leading off. Giles has been tough this season, so let's see if he can keep his streak going. Try to get the hold here. Kalamazoo 5, Seattle 4. And so the switch hitter, so no advantage to pitcher, which wouldn't matter. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 95, 6, 101. Big strikeout for Ken Giles to start off the top of the 8th. And so that'll bring up, Matt Chapman. I think actually I misspelled his name in the lineups. Shame on me. Righty on righty, but again, Giles is maxed out, so we can't roll a D20 there. So we're going to go max of D12. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 81, 9, 90. Another strikeout for Giles. Coming in, throwing heat. And then I'll bring up Javi Baez, who's had a good night, a couple of doubles, and fly out to center field in his 3 at-bats. And righty and righty, so bat score, pitch score, 69, 2, 71. Another strikeout. Ken Giles coming in, throwing heat. Love to see it if you're a K's fan. So that'll switch our teams. And our next batter will be Bellinger leading off the top of the 8th. And so who am I bringing in here? Let's see, so I had Mills come in. I'm going to bring in another D8. I think I'm going to bring in Lugo at this point. Another D8. Again, sorry, I got to get my updated here. Let's bring in Lugo. And he is another righty rolling a D8. We're going to said if you're in the position of the Pelicans, you got to hold here, and so you need to throw your best arms up here. Try to keep it a one-run game. So Lugo is another right-handed pitcher rolling a D8 against Bellinger, so that there'll be no advantage there. So Bellinger's had a good night. 3 for 3, a home run, a walk, or 2 for 2, a home run, and a single and a walk. So on base 3 times here tonight. So let's see what he's got here. Clearly that forearm's doing just fine. So let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 37, 7, 44. That's the first out for the inning there. So a 4-3 put out. The first out of the inning. And I'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Again, not a good night. 0 for 3 for Cabrera. So 28-35. Pitcher gets the bump to a D12. So bat score, pitch score, 77. 6-83, that is a ground out to the first baseman for the second out of the inning. And I'll leave it all up to Omar Narvaez, who had a good night. He had 3 for 3, 2 singles and a triple. So he's been instrumental here tonight. So let's see what he's got. Righty on lefty, so no advantage to the pitcher. Bet score, pitcher. 25, 8, a 33. Draws a walk. Draws a walk for a 2-out walk. Man on first. And again, Elvis Andrus, who's again he had a big double in the last inning. Kind of blew the game wide open there. No, not wide open, but managed to give the K's the lead. So righty on righty, no advantage. Bet score, pitch score, 6. That is going to be a solid hit for Andrus. Let's see what he's got. 20 home run! Home run! Boy, did that offensive substitution pay off. You may have your everyday shortstop. That is a 2-run jack. Absolutely huge home run for Elvis Andrus. God, he's always been a good hitter. Always liked that player quite a bit. But we're going to clear the bases. We're going to add a couple of homes. So that's a 7-4 lead for Kalamazoo with 2 outs. Huge hit for Andrus. Bring up Yon Makata. Let's see if we can get another rally going here. And no switch hitter, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 49-2. That's a strikeout to end inning. But the big blow by Elvis Andrus. Another big game, another big hit. Late. And so that Kalamazoo takes a 7-4 lead. Switch teams. Next batter. So who's going to be leading off? We got a lefty. We got lefty, righty, righty. So I'm going to bring in. Boy, do you leave in Giles? I'm leaving in Giles. Giles has been such a stud. I'm going to keep an eye on him, and if he gives up a hit, I'm going to bring in Pagan to try to close it out. But Giles has been so good for me here late in the innings here. I think I'm going to just let him ride. He's going to drop down to a D8 for the base. So let me update that because he's going into the second inning, his second inning of work. So he's a D8. And so we've got Rufnet Odor coming up to bat. Again, just to reset, 7-4. Kalamazoo K's currently have the lead going into the top of the 9th. So let's see, righty on lefty, so no advantage. Bat score, pitch score, 54-58. That is a fly out to the center field for the first out of the inning. And the next batter, Jorge Alfaro, the catcher tonight. Looks like 1 for 3 with a single in his last at bat. Righty on lefty, so righty is good. So Giles is going to get the bump. Bat score, pitch score, 542. That is going to be a strikeout, another strikeout for Giles for the second out of the inning. And then that'll leave it all up to Whit Merrifield, who's had himself a hell of a night. 2 singles and a home run. Did strike out in his last at bat. Righty on righty, so Giles will get the bump. Let's see, let's get there. Get Merrifield. All right, so let's get ourselves a bat score and a pitch score. 81. 1 strikeout. 2. Close the game. Look at Giles. Unbelievable numbers out of the bullpen this year for the K's. And that will do it. Your final score tonight. Kalamazoo K's 7. The Seattle Pelicans 4. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Hope this was fun. I'm continuing to enjoy these things and getting lots of encouragement online. So appreciate it. And yeah, we'll probably roll this again tomorrow. Cheers.